Hey guys and girls, so today I'm going to talk about technical issues when recording and uploading it onto YouTube and kind of what YouTube is doing to screw us content creators, especially us with smaller numbers. Now, I've uploaded this video in 1080p, 2K, and 4K, and the reason for that is I would like you guys to test and check out the difference between 1080 and basically the 2K and 4K, and you're going to notice it quite a bit, maybe not right now, but here in a second when I move. And so what I'm going to do is I have foliage on quite high here, and the foliage likes to move around. It moves around when I'm here. It actually even moves around when you're walking. Basically, it's a beautiful amount of foliage, and I'm not overly moving fast, but it is wow. So I'll move left and right sometimes, and basically I'll do some quick movements, slow movements. Here, I'll even stand still movement here. And I bet you if you're watching the 1080p version, unless if I'm lucky and it got encoded at a higher rate, and usually that only happens if your video gets a lot of views or you're popular YouTube, things like that, pretty much what you should be seeing at the 1080p one is pretty devastating. You probably will see this weird, like almost like blurry effect. It's not just part of the video, it's like the whole video is kind of like acting up because it can't really work with all the foliage. There's just too much there moving, and it just goes all crazy. Now, if you set this to 2K or 4K, this difference becomes like night and day, and I mean insanely night and day. When you go to the 2K and 4K, obviously you might get some quality issues, some blurring, but it should be more than enough enjoyable to watch. Now, here's the crazy part. Obviously I increased my bitrate to 20 megabytes per second instead of my original 10, so I am doubling it. 4 requires like 40 plus, by the way, but I'm not going to do that. So you'll get a bit of a performance increase with the 4K, but overall it'll be more in the 2K that it should be a 9-day difference between 1080p. And this is simply just because of the way YouTube encodes. Basically, the good quality encoder is called the VP9, I believe. And then they use, I think for most videos, like an AV something or other. And basically, it's that one that's causing my videos to look really crappy at fast motions, which obviously is problematic because, somebody wants to, watch a gamer, especially, with YouTube gaming and stuff. A lot of games are going to be kind of fast moving, high speed, things like that. But nope, you get very screwed and boned on here. So I just wanted to see what your feedback is, what it, how it looks to you guys with the 2K versus the 1080p. And maybe I should be disabling foliage on top of that, unfortunately. I love the foliage in World of Warcraft, but if we do a test here, let's do a cat test here. We'll do the cat test, we'll call it. So we go from here, and we walk all the way to that tree. So we're not going to do any turning, movements, anything like that. Right now, the 1080p one is probably crapping some bricks right here. And then I'll do a test on the way back where I kind of just run around, move my camera a bit. So there you go. So now I'll just move around here a bit. I'll go over here and I'll just check out the grass over here and things like that. So overall, you're probably noticing that even the 2K and 4K will be getting a bit of a hit, but shouldn't be as bad as obviously the 1080p version here. Look how beautiful this is though, the flowers. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the same test, except what we're going to do is change the settings here. And we're going to go to your regular graphics, and we're going to take down the ground clutter, and we're going to set it to nothing. And then there you go. So we're going to go for a walk now. And you're probably already noticing it's much, much better on the 1080p. Obviously, it's still probably going to have some artifacting and things like that, but overall, it probably is night and day difference. Now, obviously, once I start moving around, it'll get a little worse, but it shouldn't be as bad as what you were seeing because there's not as many details and, the objects on the ground to kind of take away from that encoding. Now that's YouTube's fault. When I look at this video raw, basically it looks beautiful at 1080p, 2K and 4K. This is all basically YouTube doing that. So I guess I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll set it to probably the low clutter on the ground, which I love the clutter. It looks so beautiful. It makes the game look so alive and real. But unfortunately, you get kind of owned when it comes to YouTube on that. Because some people will only be able to watch it at 1080p, and even at the 2K and 4K, I mean, you still see some bothers. But anyways, I want to hear your feedback on that. So anyways, just to be able to get the VP9 coding, basically if you make a 2K or a 4K video, basically it'll enable it on those two resolutions, and then it'll encode it for you. And obviously much better for those who are doing a lot of movements in games and things like that. So I just wanted to share that with you. I wanted this to be kind of a demo / benchmark video on that. So this is the things us YouTubers do, you know, at times. I'm going to be deleting that series. I mean, I'm only level 15. It wasn't, you know, many videos, but obviously, you know, when I looked at the videos on YouTube, locally they're fine, but when I looked at the videos on YouTube, it looked like somebody basically just, you know, took a 640 by 480p camera from like, you know, 15 years ago and recorded the game with that. Like, that's how bad the motion blur was happening. So, yeah, unfortunately, that's just how it is. And I wish YouTube would fix that. I would be even interested if they offered an option where, you know, a YouTuber could, you know, pay for, you know, the extra oomph, basically. From what I learned and from what I read, basically, what people were saying, they talked to an engineer at YouTube, and they said basically this encoder takes about 15-20% more server resources to, I guess, encode. And so obviously to them that's a bit more expensive, and so they'd rather, you know, if they can cut all their video stuff by 20%. Think about how cheap that is. So at the same point as I see it, if, you know, they're willing to, you know, have people pay, you know, $10 a month or whatever it is, to remove that and let them have the better encoding, so their movies look better, you know, when they're doing fast-paced, you know, videos, games, whatever. I think that would be really cool. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you notice the difference. Notice if the foils removed, you know, kind of helped quite a bit there, or it didn't make a huge difference. And yeah, I'd like to hear from you guys anyways on that. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.